Good morning and welcome to the weather briefing for day one of the Verve Cup Offshore Regatta. I'm meteorologist Chris Bedford. We may have some thunderstorms today, so we need to make sure everyone is monitoring the conditions. The highest risk for thunderstorms will be later this afternoon, so if you see anything threatening, make sure you're taking the appropriate actions. Here's the severe weather outlook for today. We do have a marginal risk of some severe thunderstorms. That means a chance of very heavy rain, frequent lightning, wind gusts up to 45 knots, and possible hail. Now, not all of those things can occur. Any one of those could trigger a severe thunderstorm. But be on the lookout for conditions to possibly deteriorate, especially this afternoon. For tomorrow, most of the weather kind of moves off to the east. We may have some rain in the morning. We'll take a look at that in a minute. But the risk of severe weather decreases, and there is essentially no risk of severe weather on Sunday. Here we have this morning's weather map, which shows a low pressure up in the upper peninsula of Michigan with a cold front across central Lake Michigan down into southeast Wisconsin and northwest Illinois, and another low down over northern Missouri. Now this front is moving slowly to the southeast, but it looks like it's going to kind of hang up either over Chicago or maybe just slightly to the south of Chicago later this morning and this afternoon. There are some here's a look at the satellite image, and we see quite a bit of cloud associated with that. And on the radar, we see that there's some fairly heavy rains actually out to the west of Chicago. Now, these are actually kind of dissipating fairly quickly. And this should say Friday up here, by the way. The rains are dissipating fairly quickly, and it looks like the we'll get a little bit of the debris from this rain area through this morning, but as far as real heavy stuff, it looks like it's actually going to dry out from this system later this morning and midday. There'll be new cells developing this afternoon, however. The forecast chart for early afternoon today shows low pressure out to the west of Chicago. That front hanging up actually drawn just to the north of Chicago, but as I say, it could actually be a little bit further south at this time, and a risk of showers and thunderstorms, but I think that risk is greater later in the afternoon. Here we have that low moved into northern Illinois. Again, that front very close to Chicago, and at this point here is where we're probably likely to have our best chance of thunderstorms, perhaps some heavy thunderstorms. This is the rainfall forecast for 10 o'clock this morning. You can see the rain's pretty dried out on the model anyway. It doesn't show much over here, so we're likely to get some light rain through mid-morning, maybe even into late morning, but for the most part, that rain that's on the radar out to the west should be more or less missing us or drying out before it gets to us. Then early this afternoon, we have some new rain developing along that frontal boundary up to the north. And then here's where our best chance of rain will be in thunderstorms. This is this afternoon. You can see some heavier thunderstorms developing out to the west and northwest of Chicago, and those could move through in the afternoon. So on the forecast, we've had sort of southerly, southwesterly winds this morning, but it looks like as the remains of that rain move through, we should shift into the northwest, and kind of nothing very strong, kind of light, and then that wind will veer around more northeasterly into the early afternoon. Again, pretty light, probably 4 to 8 knots, and we may actually get a little bit of a lake breeze enhancement to that breeze in the afternoon, with the new rain cells kind of working to pull air in off the lake before they arrive. So before the cells arrive, we could have an increasing easterly wind through the afternoon, maybe up to 10, 12 knots at times mid to late afternoon. But then if any cells move off the shore, we can expect a very abrupt right shift with a westerly wind flowing out from those cells, and perhaps even some strong wind gusts coming offshore as well. So we need to keep a weather eye basically to the west and northwest today. For tomorrow, that front moves through. We'll have some lingering rain in the morning, but then sort of slowly drying conditions through the day, and there'll be a northerly flow across the lake. or actually a northwest tending northerly flow across the lake tomorrow. There's a question of whether or not there'll be a lake breeze tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow morning, you can see the forecast for rainfall at 7 a.m. shows rain over Chicago. That's probably the end of it. There may be some lingering showers into mid-morning, but things continue to dry out as we go into the afternoon. Here we are at 1 o'clock. So it looks like the highest risk of any showers will be tomorrow morning, and then improving steadily through the afternoon. For wind, with the front through by this time, late tomorrow morning, we should have a northwest wind. Now, yesterday's forecast had this breeze a bit stronger. Today it looks like it could be a little bit lighter. It looks like the high is a little bit slower to build in as the front departs. So we'll be looking at a possible lake breeze scenario tomorrow with northwest winds in the morning, and then a period of transition midday to early afternoon where the wind gets very light and then shifts around into a northeast, east-northeast direction for tomorrow afternoon. Not a particularly strong lake breeze, 4 to 8 knots, maybe 5 to 10, but on balance it looks like the wind forecast is decreasing for tomorrow from the way it's looked on previous days. So sailable, but maybe not until, well, the best time to sail will be in the morning, probably before 11 o'clock or 11 or 12 o'clock, and then from sort of 12 to 1 o'clock we'll be in this transition period between the sea breeze, the northwest gradient and the lake breeze, and then there'll be another reasonable sailing period in the mid-afternoon once the lake breeze develops. And then finally for Sunday, the front continues to move out to the southeast, and weak high pressure is out to the west of us. And this again looks like a northerly type of gradient in the morning that will shift around into a northeasterly with lake breeze effects during the afternoon on Sunday. So that's the weather forecast. Quite changeable conditions today, kind of variable and difficult to forecast. But then the rest of the weekend, it looks like we have gradual improvement in the weather from Saturday, and then a beautiful day on Sunday for sailing. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day out there.